What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, on what's been a cold, breezy day out here. I think we have gotten like mid-30s, probably about 34, 35 right now. But with this wind blowing, it is wicked cold out here. I've gotten a couple of tests done already, and I'm gonna try to knock one more out before I head to the house. This one right here should be a really good 9mm test. So of course, the jelly contraption set up, ready to go with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done 2 tests so far. In this block we're working with, they're all on the back side. Couple of little straggly pieces up here, but with the ammo we've got, I don't think any of that's going to be a concern. I am using my heavy clothing barrier that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we've got for this one is some stuff that I have tested in the past, but I realized that I never really put these two head to head together. What we've got here is the Federal Premium HST and the Speer Gold Dot. Now I'm sure pretty much everybody out there is familiar with these 2 rounds, and I would be willing to say, if you were to ask just random people what are the best or what is the best 9mm carry round as far as just average available off the shelf stuff, these 2 are probably going to be right at the top of the list. You probably have, you know, some critical defense, some federal punch. Those are also good mainstream rounds. But for the most part, if you ask somebody what's the best 9mm round, unless they're heavily into the boutique type stuff, you're probably going to hear HST or Gold Dot. So I figured I might as well sling one each into the gel block to have them side by side to compare. Now both of these are 124 grain. That's just my personal preference as far as 9mm, and both of them have the exact same ballistics. They're both saying 1150 feet per second, and that's out of a 4-inch barrel, which totally makes sense that they would be the same ballistic. They're the same weight, nickel plated case. They probably use the same exact powder, if I was going to guess, because I mean they're practically the same company anyway. Now of course the one big difference with these is going to be the projectile. You can see they're both nice nickel plated cases, but the projectile is big time different. HST on the right, the bonded Gold Dot on the left. And as far as what I'm going to do this test out of today, I'm using my shorty barreled Canik Mete MC9 with a 3.1-inch barrel. So normally I'd say hopefully we're going to see some good performance from these, but there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that both of these are going to perform very well. Let's get everything set up and see what they do. All right, let's see what these things are moving. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each one of them, starting with the HST first. Now remember, the box is saying 1150 from a 4-inch barrel for both of these, so we'll probably be short of that. We're definitely going to be a little short, but we shouldn't be too far off of it. Now this lab radar is going to give you multiple velocities. The large one's right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there I've got set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet, and then I've got the other set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Well, let's see what we get from the good old HST. 1125, it's about what I figured. 1126, 1128, 1140, and 1123. That stuff was incredibly consistent, except for that 1140, and it wasn't too far out. Let's check out that average. All right, so our 5-round average right there was 1128 feet per second. Now remember, we was looking for 1150 from a 4-inch, so 1128 from a 3.1 is right in line where it should be. That's always good to see. That tells you right there they're loading this stuff honestly. You had an extreme spread of 17 with a 6.7 standard deviation. Very, very nice consistency, and if it wasn't for that 1140, I think we would have had an extreme spread of like 5 or 6. So fantastic so far, which is absolutely no surprise. Let's get it reset and check out the Gold Dot. All right, let's see if this Gold Dot can match that performance. 5 rounds from it also. 1097, 1073, 1115, 1085, and 1066. So surprising right there. This stuff was slower across the board. Let's check out the average. All right, we actually dipped under 1100 with the average on this one. We had a 5-round average of 1087. Extreme spread was 48 with a 19.2 standard deviation. So a little bit lower velocity and a little bit bigger on the spread. So 1087 right here. And if you remember on that HST, it was 1128. So you're talking about 41 feet per second difference between these. these. Not a huge difference at all, what, 4 or 5%, something like that. I don't think that's gonna make any difference in what kind of performance we see in the gel, but it is interesting to see that that Gold Dot sure enough is slower across the board than the HST. But even with a little bit lower velocities from this 3.1 inch barrel, I still have absolutely no doubt we're gonna see some fantastic performance in the gel. So let's get it all reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's friendly competition jelly time. We'll put one of each into the gel, starting with this HST first. There's no doubt we're gonna see a couple of really nice performing rounds right here. All right, that should have been a fantastic placement. Let me go see what I got. All right, y'all, that is absolute textbook perfect performance right there. No surprise, absolutely no surprise. And we're gonna see more of the same right here. All right, should have been another perfect one. Let's go check these things out. All right, let's check this stuff out down here, y'all. Beautiful performance from both of these from what I can tell so far. Although from what I am seeing, the HST definitely has a little bit of an edge here. So speaking of, that's the HST up here on top. It might be a little bit tricky because of that stuff in the background, but I'll bring you up closer. Very, very nice disruption. It's got that super nice spiral looking disruption like it always has. I mean, and it carries that nice disruption literally all the way through this first block into the second block, probably an 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and you've got some beautiful expansion on that HST projectile. And then moving down to the bottom, of course, that's the Gold Dot. Once again, it comes in definitely immediate expansion, nice disruption again, all the way through that first block. This one pokes into the second block, probably about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And as far as expansion, surprisingly, not nearly as much expansion on this Gold Dot as we should be getting. But let's get our penetration measurement on it right quick. The HST is actually out to 17.5 inches, so absolutely beautiful right there. And then the Gold Dot down at the bottom is right at, actually it's about 16.75 with a little bit of forward momentum. So very, very nice penetration from both of these. And then here's your close-up look. You should be able to see that HST disruption better. Try to get you some different angles. You can see there, very, very nice. Got that really nice spiral looking disruption. We come back a little bit, follow them on through. Now the Gold Dot is no slouch for sure. We keep on following all the way through. You've got that really nice disruption. Then they poke into the second block. There's your HST, very, very nicely expanded. But then if you look at the Gold Dot, not so much in the way of expansion. And then from the top here, it's gonna be a little bit tricky just because they're kind of right on top of each other. But you can see there, again, that disruption is just incredibly nice looking from that HST. It always is into the second block. And once again, very, very nice expansion. All right, let's take a look at these projectiles, y'all. Definitely quite a bit of difference right here. This one right here is the Gold Dot. This one is the HST. You can see this HST got all the expansion, buddy. Very, very nice. I mean, it even fused that cloth to the lead. It's all kind of cloth fused to that lead. It didn't care anything about that cloth. Very, very nice, full, even symmetrical expansion right there. And then the Gold Dot, on the other hand, not so much here. I don't know what went on with that when it got about half expansion. It probably could use that little bit extra velocity that it's lacking, honestly. I don't know why this one's lacking on that velocity. Not a whole lot, but that 40 FPS could definitely make a difference in opening these last couple of pedals up. All that being said, this is still absolutely good to go. There's no failure here from either one of these, in my opinion. But let's get us some measurements and see what that looks like. They both started at 124 grains. This Gold Dot is right there on the money, 124.0. The HST, once again, right on the money, 124.0, so nothing lost from either one of them. And then on to the size here, we're definitely gonna see some difference. We'll start with this Gold Dot. It's very, very irregular. You got 411, and in the large direction here where it actually expanded, you got 507. And then your HST here, you got 585 and 596. So once again, incredibly nice, even expansion from that HST. And there you go, y'all, a battle of what most people would would definitely consider some top dogs in the 9mm world, the Federal Premium HST and the Speer Gold Dot. Nice performance from both of these, but if you had to call a winner, I don't think there is any question at all that this HST absolutely takes the win. It had a little more velocity, it had incredible consistency. You can see just very, very incredibly nice expansion, perfect penetration. There's really nothing that this is lacking, absolutely nothing that this round is lacking from being a perfect self-defense load. So I wouldn't turn either one of these down or go unloading them from my mags, but if I could make the choice between one or the other, there is absolutely no question based on this right here, it would be this Federal HST. All right, y'all, it's always a good thing to end off the day of testing with some nice performance, so I'm gonna call it right there with that one. Really no surprises with this one right here. Great performance from both of these rounds. Now, again, if you had to call a winner or which one did better than the other, I think obviously you have to call the HST with a little extra velocity, which means a little bit extra energy, perfect penetration, absolute textbook perfect expansion. Again, I don't think there's anything else you could ask for out of this HST for a standard pressure 124 9mm. I guess the Gold Dot was feeling a little sluggish today for whatever reason. Now, we all know from seeing a lot of stuff tested from Speer loaded Gold Dots by Speer, they do tend to skimp on the powder a little bit, it seems like, because it's a little bit weaker than some of the other stuff we've tested. But again, I certainly would not unload this from any mags I had it in. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Those of y'all who run HST or Gold Dot, I'm sure there's plenty of y'all out there. What kind do you run? What weight do you run? What do you think about the performance out of these two today? And if you had to call a winner based on this performance from factory loads, which one would you call? If you enjoyed the video, take a second and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Huge thanks once again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got some really good stuff done out here today and plenty more on the way, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.